Haribol.
My question is to Yaśodā-nandana Dāsa Prabhu.
Yes.
Prabhuji, you mentioned that everybody needs to be respected. The movement is where the movement is because of a lot of selfless work which has been done by so many devotees and disciples. Whenever we talk to the other camp, especially when I try to motivate others that you to follow Prabhupada and not to follow any of these so-called self-appointed gurus, one of the commonest things which ISKCON propagates is Vaishnava Aparadha. By questioning them, by questioning their position, by questioning their stance, you are doing Vaishnava Aparadha. You should not. And of course, they malign the Ritviks constantly by saying that, oh, they're doing big time Vaishnava Aparadha. There'll be no scope for them anywhere. And that is number one. And then number two, and this is my question also in my mind, is when they are offering bhoga to Srila Prabhupada through their spiritual guru. Now, of course, we know that there is no disciplic succession from that side. Is the bhoga really becoming prasad? Number one. And then number two is whatever they are chanting, Prabhupada says very clearly that you should avoid listening to this Maha Mantra from the lips of a non-devotee as much as possible. So many a times, even with me and my wife, my Mataji, she likes to listen to anybody and everybody because it's a Maha Mantra. I said, no, I refuse to listen to anybody from the other camp because it is not purity. Why would Prabhupada say that avoid it from the lips of a non-devotee as much as possible? Could you please share these three things, share more light, so how we can motivate others, other jivas who are being entrapped in the wrong direction and make them follow Prabhupada directly?
Well, with regards to the first question, this is a technique. It's a political technique, basically, to avoid discussing and confronting issues, even issues that are controversial or difficult to deal with. And this was used right from the beginning in 1978, when some of us tried to discuss with some members of the GBC about these issues. The first thing they started, oh, you're all envious. You're all, you should not be asking these questions. You should just accept. And eventually some devotees labeled it the parampara problem. Problem is very soft, easy to digest food that you give to infants, to babies, because they cannot digest hard food. They cannot just digest the rice, dal, and chapatis when they're, 4 months old. They take this problem. This parampablam is a way of saying just accept, shut up, don't question, and don't make trouble. Well, that's nice. It's nice to say, but there's a lot of questions. And the reason why there were so many questions is because that whole system was not based on Prabhupada's instructions. It was a political concoction, this whole guru appointment. It's a nonsense misinterpretation. And this has been dealt with by many, many devotees from England, from America, from Russia, from Canada, from all over the place. Many devotees have basically discussed this issue beyond the official quote-unquote network of the leaders of ISKCON, because they will not allow public debate. Because public debate means immediately it will go to the history of what has happened, and that's why they say, oh, it's offensive to discuss. They were using that to debating, or you're offending the great devotees. Nobody is trying to offend anybody. Nobody is offending anybody. They're trying to discuss and understand, because there was so much secrecy, so much political nonsense, so much suppression and oppression of devotees, suppression of discussion, especially in the beginning, and the same mentality we had right out of the gate in 1978, where one guru said, there is nothing to discuss. We have already discussed everything. They should just accept. Well, I'm sorry, this is not the way that this philosophy is discussed. Might is right is not the philosophy that's going to succeed in spreading this movement. That's political nonsense. Now, I see maybe you can rephrase some of these other two questions you had there. That's for the first question. What about the other two questions?
The second question was, is the bhog offered by the other camp really becoming prasadam?
Well, that's an interesting question. First of all, in order to understand how Srila Prabhupada, the founder of this movement, how he instructed his disciples to offer the bhoga. The bhoga becomes prasadam when it is offered according to the instruction of the Acārya. And I'm quite familiar with the argument on both sides, what they say, that Prabhupada said to go in 1976 and compile a small deity worship manual of about 20 pages based on the Hari Bhaktivedanta, and they claim they did that, which they really did not. But basically, to go back to the original point, Srila Prabhupada, right from 1967-68, taught the devotees how to offer the bhoga. He gave specific prayers. The basic fundamental point is to offer it with devotion, with love and devotion. But Prabhupada gave specific letters, like, for example, in one letter in 1968 to one Mataji named Balai Devi Dasi, Prabhupada said, you offer 3 times to the spiritual master, 3 times to Lord Chaitanya, Namo Mahabodhinyaya, 3 times to Lord Krishna, Namo Brahmanya Devaya, and then you wait, you recite the prayers 3 times, and then you afterwards, after 10-15 minutes, you can take the bhoga from the altar, and it is prasadam. It is offered with love and devotion. This was a very simple, non-complicated way of Srila Prabhupada introducing the way to offer prasadam. Now, when they offer prasadam to some of these other individuals, I really cannot, I'm very hesitant to even give the answer whether it's prasadam or not. Because first of all, Prabhupada said the prasadam should be cooked by initiated Brahmins. This is well known. Well, a lot of time it's not cooked by initiated Brahmins. Number 2, the prasadam is supposed to be offered according to certain ingredients. When Prabhupada was with us, we didn't cook with dalda or corn oil or some kind of cheap vegetable oil. This was not allowed when you cook for the deities or even for Sunday feast or something. We cook with ghee. And now I'm hearing so many stories of the food stuff, the bhoga is being prepared in various ways by non-initiated Brahmins, or in some instances by people who are, quasi-devotees. So it creates a problem. But the method of offering that they have is defective. What they have done is concocted that they should offer directly to Krishna, and then to Lord Chaitanya, and then to Prabhupada, claiming that you cannot offer to Krishna foodstuff that's been offered or enjoyed by the Guru. Well, first of all, there are many letters from Srila Prabhupada explaining in statements and conversations that the foodstuff is offered to the Guru. He offers it to his Guru, and then he offers it to his Guru. And it goes like that in disciplic succession all the way to Lord Chaitanya, all the way to Krishna. Now, if somebody may say, well, the Madhvas and Ramanujas and Nimbarkas and Vallabhas, all these Vaisnavas, they do it different. Well, we don't criticize any other sampradaya or even the Gaudiya Math for the way they're offering. We are concerned with the way that Prabhupada taught us how to offer the prasadam. And this is how it should be followed. As for those people who have some way or other mistakenly misunderstood that Prabhupada is enjoying the bhoga, that's nonsense. That is not what Prabhupada said. That is not correct. It is defective.